The other thing I find, as I've done them for about 9 years now running, they're so applicable to our time, even though they're rooted in their language and in their theology. In Bach's time, in the 18th century, all of the themes of a spiritual progression, of wrestling with faith, with difficult life issues, they're totally timeless. And I'm often reminded that even at its most joyful, Bach's music is always profound. And I'm mindful that he lost his first wife when he was 35. He lost 8 or 10 young children by the age of 3. But his faith endured through all of that, and that absolutely shows through his music.
The cantata was never called that. Bach never called his cantatas cantatas. It's only in retrospect that scholars looked at them and said, you know, these sure look like cantatas. They're sectional, they've got obligato instruments, they've got solos, they've got recitatives. We're going to call them cantatas. In Bach's day, these were defined functionally. That is how they worked in the service. And the way they worked was to preach, frankly. And that's also why the cantata was allowed to develop so fully, was because the clergy saw it as part of the preaching. That's also why it didn't have a stylistic name. It was simply called the main music, Hauptmusik, or it might be called something like Dialogo, Concertato, or something like that.
Another way to do it that's to program is not related to the liturgical year. It's just based on a theme. For example, chorale cantatas, wedding cantatas, and then contemplating death. Now, I have to be honest, that wasn't my best attended performance, but I think in retrospect I might have packaged it differently, but I still think it's an important topic, and of course death is all over the text. And then if you have a particularly gifted mezzo or countertenor or alto, you can do the beautiful works for alto solo. And then the sacred dialogues for soprano and bass are, of course, a repertory that are very dear to my heart because that, again, was the topic of my dissertation.